I'm having a fag. Hold on. You know what? At the bottle, I don't put it in great big glasses because I'll glug it. Mm. Because it's rather nice to have it, for a little bit of it. He's fine. I'm fine. It was a day and a half. I mean, because that's 12 hours. Now, I was concerned constantly throughout the day, not so much with my charges, what I was to expect when I came back. And the lad was fine. Look at it, look. You do? He, and as usual, he didn't left extra food out for him, extra cheese, bickies. You had bickies, didn't you? And he hadn't touched any of it until I can walk through the door. Then suddenly he drinks all the tea that's left from the morning. Yeah, yeah. And then where's those bickies? Can you find the bickies? You got them back out there. Um, and so yeah, it was a long day. That didn't last long, did it? Look, hold on a minute. Mm. Went to work at 8 in the morning, and we were a bit concerned because we were left by about half 2, 3 o'clock, Alfonso and I. Now, we're not fully trained for the environment. I'm going to have another sip. Mm, it's like mother's milk to me. But, and I said, well, what are they supposed to have for dinner and all that? But not that we were left in the lurch or anything like that. Not at all. And being Sunday, I was like, they have a Sunday roast or whatever. Well, I think they had that yesterday. Saturday roast. So we were going to do. No, they didn't. They had homemade pizzas because it was pizza night, and Alfonso was in yesterday, and he made proper pizza, bought all his own stuff and all that, and they went down to town apparently, um, and got all the bits to make proper Italian pizza. Um, and Alfonso did it all because he is Italian. And what a great guy. We just get on like a house on fire. And he's done so much, his agency, and he's done so much work and all that. I feel, from my situations of doing admin for when I was in clinic and all that, which I did for COVID for all that time, it's quite easy to take on new administrational areas and all that. But when it comes down to procedure, now I have never done a late ever since I started there. That's 4 weeks ago, where Veronica and I were just bunged in and go for it. But it all worked out terribly well. We had the proper sort of bowel movements and all that. Not me, one or two need to have bowel movements. Mm. Mm. They, Dara and I stayed in because he had been a bit of a naughty boy. He's quite destructive. Um, but I get on very well with him, and I'll come in like that, and then suddenly his head goes down like that on your breast, not that it's mother's milk. You know what I mean? And he gets on very well with me, which is a weird thing because I've been told by other staff that have been incumbent there for some time, because of his culture and all that, and whatever his difficulties with autism, heart condition, um, destruction, because that's what does happen, and his learning disabilities, which really, in another life, he would have been an engineer because he takes things that probably breaks them, he takes them, he can't put them back together again. He loves cars, all that sort of stuff. So we got on very well. So when people say, "Oh God," like, well, I'll do that. Don't worry about that. And he's quite good at doing what he does. pointed to that he's 30 years of age is and he's very diminutive. And I said, I hate saying no to you all the time. You've got to learn positives. Good like that. Um, so we can get round him. But Alfonso and I, we just got on with it. And we were a bit concerned because we're not trained to do the medications in the later part of the evening before they go to bed at 10. This wonderful woman who used to run this particular domicile, Diane, came in and right on time, beautifully, and all that. And I did the handover, whilst tall Tommy was having a bit of a you know what and all that, and he had a bath and all that, all beautifully done. But I cooked them. We found out it was sausage and mash. Well, anyone who knows me, I don't just do bangers and mash. So what I did was bangers. There was only 5 bangers left, so that was one each. That Alfonso bought his own food. I don't eat there. Um, and we did. Um, they had some frankfurters, so they had a frankfurter each, which you just put into the gravy and it cooks up quite quickly. Sausage were pre-cooked and all that. Did a champ, an Irish champ, which I did with Alfonso did all the cutting up. Bloody brilliant doing cutting up. I hate doing all the, but he's Italian. So he did all that, and I'm doing the cooking and all. And they're all coming in and sort of looking over you. And I got Dara to help stir things, and one or two of the boys came out. Did you ever stir? Go on then. I put bacon into the gravy too, but I thought, well, actually, because you've got to be a bit careful with one or two of them with their. Um, the Irish champ had cut up scallions, spring onion, bit of raw onion. They also had roasted parsnips and carrots, which were done in olive oil and Italian seasoning, just to give it a bit of an extra boost. I'm going to have another sip of that. Sorry, call me old-fashioned. They're quite easy on puddings, but they're coming back for seconds. I was saying to Alfonso, it's like bloody Oliver. Can I have some more, please? Dara, naughtily, what are you making that strange noise for? Um, he decided to get some garlic bread out the freezer, so I said, well, he's taken it out now, we may as well do that. So they had that. They loved it, so it was a bit extra. Um, they had peas, sweet corn as well, mosh too. Only little bits, not great big lumps of it. And the Irish champ just went down so well. I hadn't made enough. Dara didn't finish all his, so that goes straight into another thing that you can have for lunch tomorrow because he loves leftovers. He doesn't mind them cold. Mind you, I don't mind cold Chinese, you know what I mean? Give him another Becky, lad. And then during the day, I was getting messages from Stephen about filming tomorrow because I'm having this is all coming off. Okay. Well, what are you making? What are you making, Jen? What are you making? You're making? Apparently, this is called love. Sit down. Sit. I'll put the telly on in a minute. So, although I have never cooked there before, I did a really good supper for them. And Alfonso said, "This is brilliant. This is marvellous." I said, "But you being an Italian, because you come from great stock of incredibly good food and all that." And he had never had onion gravy. And he said, "That is just..." I said, "It's so easy to do." And he said, "Oh, to me it's a bit salty." I said, "Well, it's only because of my taste, and the only way you can get rid of it and take the salt down if it's too much for you is you put milk in it. So it's not like a dark gravy or anything like that. Actually ends up being a really nice base for a soup. So there's a lot of that, and I just said to Diana, I said, well, tomorrow tell me I've labelled it all in the fridge. That is a very good base for a soup in the cold winter whatever situation it is. Um, but I kept on getting a message from Stephen about, oh, can we change the time until quarter to can you meet me at so I'm going in by train and meeting him at Moulscombe. This off and do what is a Mark and Chums the Shaving to, but what it is about, which is more interesting. It's not just me having the shaving done. What it is talking about the film Kestrel House. Uh, and Alfonso was saying to me, grab another one, because I was sipping. Mm. He watched a couple of the shorts I've done and just said, like that. And I said, well, I tell you what, if you're knackered, I said, anytime you want to go to sleep, put one of my films on, you'll be knocked out like no one's. But I'm really enjoying the job. It's just I pointed out to Diane today, and I pointed out Alfresco, as I called him, Alfresco's Alfonso, uh, said, that this is actually going a bit too far by the fact is you're leaving. I'm fully trained, but is it to the company standard and all that? And he's an agency, and he wants to work there, like I do on the same sort of part-time basis. And I said, the only problem I do have with it, when you've actually set certain criteria you laid down at the start of employment, I don't do this, I don't do that. It sounds a bit like that thing from Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't do this, I don't do that, and I don't do children. Well, these are all kids anyway. Adults, but kids. Um, and all I did, also was washing and drying and things like that. And they went out, they came back. Manuela, her name is. She's from Colombia. She's a delight, absolute delight. And she'd been there she'd been there for nearly 48 hours. But that's the criteria I laid down. I don't want to be, the point we're making, I think, and I said this to Diana, is don't, if I've made these previous decisions and they're aware of it, what they're going to do, don't be in a situation where, oh, that Mark will do it or Alfonso will do it, because there'll be one day when we say, no, I'm not doing it. No, I can't stay later. I mean, I've already mentioned to them about it. Manuela has a dog too. She hasn't seen since Thursday, enough said. And she said, just bring the dog in. I said, I don't have a problem with that. I'm sure they won't have a problem with it, but the lad can be quite boisterous. If he doesn't know people, he loves people, don't get me wrong. And the walks would do a power of goods. But when you've got a lot of these 30-odd chaps and all that who are not aware of roads or anything like that, have strange ways of communicating, although I'm sort of getting round it, you've got to be very careful. And I pointed this out to Diane, and she just said, have a word with Holly, who's the house manager. And I said, well, I will do, because, I don't want to be in a situation by saying no, because there's certain areas in the December rota which is just impossible unless I can bring the dog. You can bring the dog. And I said, that's not the point. It depends on how my dog reacts to them and how they react to my dog. It's being totally on their side. He'll be fine, but when you've got people who are autistic and all that, and I've just done all that training much better than I had before, it is a difficulty for them to understand, something new. Although apparently they quite like dogs. Tall Tommy is a bit scared of them, but he's so blinking tall. I'm sure the only problem I've got with Lad is he likes to jump up on people and wag his tail and lick everything. As you've just seen, he just licked me almost to death. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing. I'm doing this thing because it gets on my tits. It keeps on coming up. Uh, the thing on Mark and Chum's Kestrel House, and apparently Murray, who was in Kestrel House, but I didn't see him. Fogg back in the day, and also have done a couple of films with him. Brilliant man. Um, Stephen's come up with an idea of possibility of us doing a short. Fine. Um, into the background and, not playing the lead, because they seem to constantly play the lead or the antagonist in most of them, because they always seem to be the antagonist. I don't seem to be anyone kind. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Uh, and he'll be left only for a few hours tomorrow, because we're going to go in, get it done, and I'm going to come home, because we don't ask about anymore. I can't be doing with it all. You know, Betty can't come tomorrow, which she was going to pop in, because the fucking World Cup's on. Enough said. So I'm just going to watch a bit of telly before I have all this. The whole lot's coming off. Not these, but all that. And I won't be doing Father Christmas this year, apparently. So on that note, oh, I'll talk to you later. Bye.